Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Got a match for you today on Trident. It is a domination match. We are top tier in the former campaign ship, at least if my own channel is correct. The Tier 7 American Premium Battleship, Georgia. Alright, Georgia's on my mind. I'm at my temporary Southern Command, just north of Atlanta, Georgia. Where am I? Dunwoody, if you know where that is. I'm in Dunwoody, Georgia. Georgia's a little interesting, a little bit different than Missouri, as we call Missouri in Missouri. But yeah, enjoying it. And I thought, what better video this week to welcome all of you to my Southern Command videos than a match in the Premium Battleship Georgia. I do want to note, I do have a special commander in the Georgia. It is Azure Lane, New Jersey. In this video, Azure Lane, New Jersey is level 16, legendary level 2, I think. So calculate that into your calculations. I don't think I thought enough ahead to put Azure Lane, New Jersey information anywhere, but I can go over it really quickly, providing we get cooperation from Wow's Builds. Alright, Azure Lane, New Jersey's base trait, freedom through firepower, main battery shells that travel over 10 kilometers for this game to do 4.5% extra damage. As you can see here, I'm really loath to go out any farther than this little outcropping. We do have ships to shoot at. Other unique skill in play is called Don't You Just Love It? I think maybe it's 5% main battery dispersion plus 10% increased damage with Citadel strikes at this level for the commander. Fully maxed out, it's plus 15% increased damage and minus 7% to the dispersion. So greater dispersion the higher level you go. So we already shot our first salvo. Remember, just 2 rifle turrets here on the Georgia, kind of old school turret design on a newer school ship. So that front battery is only going to give you 4 shells. And as you can see, sometimes the accuracy isn't perfect, but I think you're going to be pretty impressed with this match in the Georgia. As we continue to shoot at the different ships, including a Bismarck, after this salvo, I think I'm going to go into Wow's Builds and give you some stats. There is a really nice hit. 3 out of 4 shells, and we did a whopping amount of damage. Going to turn these turrets. Alright, maybe I'm too busy killing stuff to talk about the stats, but let's go real quick. Talking about the Georgia, the Sigma is 1.8, fires per minute 2.23, arming threshold of the armor piercing 76 millimeters. The overmatch is 32 millimeters. We will have a stat comparison, and there's our first kill. That cruiser came out, and I made him into Swiss cheese lunch meat with a couple of Citadel hits and a Dev strike. Still reluctant to push forward. I think most of the enemy ships came over to this side of the map. I don't know if my teammates, well, most of them are behind me. I was going to say, I don't know if they got the memo. That one destroyer looks like it hasn't done anything at all over there in the southeastern quadrant of the map. Meanwhile, we've lost 2 ships. The enemy's lost 3 ships. Moving up just a tidbit, a tush, a titch, whatever you want to call it. We are going to aim our next bit at the key here, our next salvo. I think I'm going to try to turn to get the rear turret on to get all 6 shells, a full salvo going out. Meanwhile, the red team even up the score. The key is turning away. That is not what I wanted to happen. But we do get some hits, and that's cool and everything. We're going to do the stat comparison at the end of the match. because there is going to be a little bit of time to go over that. I do want to mention, as we're about to fire at the key again, there was an actual battleship, not a fake one or one that only existed on paper. There was a real battleship called the USS Georgia. It was a Navy Virginia-class battleship, third of 5 ships in the class, built by the Bath Iron Works in Maine, launched in 1904, had 12 305mm guns and 8 203mm guns, top speed of 19 knots. The Georgia was sold for scrap in 1923 due to the Washington Naval Treaty, which dictated severe drawdowns in naval strength. So, you know, I'd love to tell you about all the great stuff that Georgia did, but I really don't think it did a lot. Did some gunnery training during the Great War. Georgia had to be reactivated for service, and a bunch of people got sick, and then it was a troop transport. All right, so that's the history of the real ship. As we continued to shoot at the key, and somehow my turrets got out of time. I'm imagining one was disabled while I was talking about rather insignificant history of a ship that was destroyed a long time ago. All right, continuing to shoot at the key. The Georgia does have these really nice big guns to work with. 457mm guns, which are not very common in the U.S. line, although they're, I guess, not the same size as Yamato's guns. I think they're a couple millimeters smaller, so they don't have the overmatch capability that Yamato does. All right, kind of use the island to ward myself off of the enemy ships, continuing to shoot at the key. I am very aware the key has torpedoes because I own a key. I'm not saying it's really great or that I will put out a video anytime soon, but I do own the key. Here is a destroyer called the Minsk. I know he would love to torpedo me, and I think he's a little bit far away. Here I've backed up and exposed myself to crossing fire of sorts, but the key has given me a pretty good profile right here for my front 2 turrets. Let's see how these shells do. Oh, Citadel hit, and the key is no more. All right, and we have 5 ships left. The enemy have 4 ships left. I mean, I've killed 2 enemy ships, so at this point our team should be mopping up and we should be winning. That's not going to happen. Nope. And all these kills are at relatively close range, so that's why this wasn't a Azure Lane, New Jersey analysis video, because there isn't really any long-distance gunnery in this game. So that's why you're watching it today. All right, there's a spotter plane. Presumably that is from a ship over here. So a ship that's over around the corner of this island. Enemy ships that are left, looks like 2 cruisers and a battleship. Somebody has sonar. There is a Bismarck. All right, maybe 2 battleships and 1 cruiser. We punish the Bismarck, get the high caliber medal. We're up to 143,679 total damage. Got an Iowa over here in addition to the Bismarck. And I'm like, hey teammates, instead of running away to the other side of the map, how about you help a brother out? Nope, nobody wants to do that. All right, continuing to engage the Bismarck. We're going up into the superstructure. Another pretty good hit. I think that was around 12,000 damage. We're up to 160,000 damage and counting. The secondaries kick in. My teammates do help a little bit here. Yeah, support that target. Yeah, that'd be nice. That would be nice. All right, working on our reload. Hoping to finish off the Bismarck. Going into the bow plating here. Just under the turret, but we only get 2 pens. And so he is still alive. Our secondaries are ticking. We're turning to get that rear turret on target up into the superstructure. He's not dead yet. And one of my teammates so helpfully takes that kill. We're going to engage our last heal. We got an Iowa up here. We're shooting at his front turrets, and those shells totally whiffed. One went one side and one went the other. Good grief. I didn't even notice that when I was playing the game. I'm like, you got to be kidding me, folks. And I didn't mention it at the time, but my super firing turret has been knocked out. So at this point, I'm like, I only have 2 guns against the Iowas, 6 guns. This isn't going to work unless I can knock out his turret. And that is not happening. So I'm like, why don't I ram kill the Iowa? And that will really help my team out. It will get me a 3rd kill, and I'll probably get some extra damage. The enemy commander, I gotta tip the hat, man. He put his ship on the other side of the carcass of the Bismarck. And right here, I thought if I hit the Bismarck, I'm gonna force it down under the water, and I'm gonna be able to ram kill the Iowa. Nope. Nope, I was denied. Denied by the corpse of a dead Bismarck. It was really disappointing to me. Right here, I'm just like throwing my controller all over the room. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. Because now the carcass of the Bismarck is forcing me to go kind of broadside. And I do get finished off by the Iowa. All right, let's go back to WoW's builds, talk about a stat comparison. Our stats are hit points, firing range, armor piercing DPM, AA max damage per second, and C detectability. Hit points, Flandre number 1, 75,400 hit points. The Georgia is 22 out of 29 ships at just 63,000 hit points. Firing range number 1 is Campania or Champagne, 18.2. Scrolling down, the Georgia is 13, maybe tied for 11. With Alabama and Amagi. Armor piercing DPM number 1 is Kansas, 262,588. Georgia is 17th, 218,077. Max AA DPS number 1, Georgia, 649. For everybody who doesn't have the Georgia, Iowa is 2nd, tied with Azerland, New Jersey at 648. Missouri at 646. C detectability, the least detectable ship is Monarch and Roma at 14.5. And then you've got Lion and Odin at 14.6, Brandenburg at Tirpitz at 14.7, Georgia and Zeiton at 14.8. The most detectable ship is the Amagi at 15.6. That is your stat comparison. By the way, the damage record in the Georgia, 275,779. The base XP record, 3,933. So those are your benchmarks to shoot for. And that is almost the end of the match. And we're still waiting for our team to get it done. Anyway, I'm waiting to hear permission back. So if you're watching this video and you are interested in becoming part of my fleet, I play in a clan called the Veterans Gaming Clan. It was originally a World of Tanks console clan. They've changed World of Tanks so much, many players have quit. I have asked the clan commander for permission to recruit players from the WoW's Legends community. So I may have 10 slots open in the fleet, at least initially, because some of the guys from the VGC Tanks clan also play World of Warships. So if I do get permission, I will do a video and recruit people off of there. And there won't be any requirements other than A, that you play the game, and B, if you play in a platoon with someone in the clan, that you play, use teamwork when you're playing. If you want to be in the fleet and be just someone who plays by themselves, as someone who's played a majority of my matches by myself, again, I'm totally okay with that, but you will have to play some matches in a division in order to get blessed to be part of the clan, just to see if you're, responsive to teamwork and you're not doing crazy things out here in the battlefield. Because the Tanks clan was pretty disciplined, and I'm not saying they were the best clan in World of Tanks, but the reputation of the clan, I think, in World of Tanks console speaks for itself. So, not just yet, but I do have the fleet made. I had permission to make it, and now I'm asking for permission to open up at least 10 spots in the fleet. I would prefer veterans, but we'll see how that goes. All right, so here we are on the defeat screen because my teammates could not hold up their end of the bargain. High caliber metal, devastating strike metal, 184,249 total damage, 2 kills, 3 hits to Citadel. We ended up with 536,775 silver and 3178 ship XP and commander XP. There we are at the top of the board in a loss. Maybe if I could have ram killed that Iowa, it would have been a different story. But the corpse of the Bismarck prevented me from doing so. And so I will anoint the Bismarck as the real